Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to everyone joining us today. I'm the Liverpool 12th Man. And this is the Liverpool 12th Man show with Lee and the Irishman. And today we have a guest. He's family here, Quasi Bold in the house. How you doing, Quaz?
Big up, Jen. Good to see you. Good to see you. Excited about this panel.
Definitely. Man. Yeah. There. We're gonna definitely have a fun one today. Quasi is gonna be able to stay with us shortly. He's not gonna be able to stay for the entire show, but we want to make sure that we got at least got a segment in here so that he can give us his jewels of knowledge, and the likes and the whole compliments to the show via the
Thank you so
KB
well.
experience.
Thank you so well. Thank you so well.
So let's just hop right into it. Big up to the chat as well, by the way. Big up to Jimmy. Big up to MK Toe, Ian in the house. Big up to all you guys and ladies out there that are joining us today. We have some things to talk about, some fun things to talk about. Hopefully on a lighter note than yesterday, because there was a lot of stuff that I saw on Twitter that kind of got me interested and perturbed a little bit, I guess you could say. And one of those things was the sheer fact that I don't know what it is about Alan Shearer. I've met him too, by the way. He was at the Fan Fest in Los Angeles, and I met the two Robbies, and I got to meet Alan, and I think Tim Howard was there too. I didn't really get a chance to speak with Tim Howard, but I got to speak with Alan Shearer, and I got to speak with the two Robbies because I was wearing my one of my throwback jerseys, and one of the Robbies Robbie Earl actually loved that I was rocking that kit. So I wanted to get into this because I don't know if Alan Shearer just does not like Liverpool, or if we did him dirty at some point of his career. But
no,
Alan
he used to be all right. Shearer used to be all right, but for some reason lately, since we went all right under Klopp, he's had some sort of stink about us. Like, he was okay when we weren't doing well, but now we've been doing well. He's had some sort that thing with Jota last season, mate. It really pissed me off because it was so infantile from him to say Jota was out of order, because I mean Jota got, when he went through on the keeper against Newcastle, the keeper caught him with his elbow and with his knee and unbalanced him, and he was perfectly within his right to go down. And Shearer used to do that all the time, mate, all the time. So does every other forward, mate. You know what I mean? And it just really annoyed me. I got really annoyed with him.
Well, you know what? Too, you have to excuse my impoliteness, but I didn't say hello to all the panelists. By the way, I didn't get to introduce the panel to the chat there. I apologize. Lee, how are you doing today? By the way, Irishman, how are you doing today?
Not brilliant.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Hey,
something wrong with my dog.
Oh goodness. I hope that's it get better. Certainly. KB, how are you doing again? Hopefully well.
Doing well.
Yes. Sorry about that. But getting back into gear, the quote was this, and this is what reason why I bring up Alan Shearer. He slammed Arne Slot over the treatment of Kwanzaa. He says, it wasn't an experienced player, though, was it? He says, you just wonder if he, meaning Arne Slot, would have done the same with an experienced player. It's easier to do it with a younger player than someone who is a big hitter. So he's kind of calling him out, trying to take a little bit of a shot at Slot. And I could bring up Alan's mug up in here. Looking like a Bond villain in this picture for some reason. What is it about? Do you think he was right in saying what he had to say? He's do you think he was he had some type of grounded opinion to bring up the whole I wonder if he would take, is he just taking it out at Kwanzaa just because he's a younger player, or is he ever going to do the same with with Trent or a Mo Salah or even a VVD or something like that?
I've not heard what she said exactly. What has he said exactly, Shearer?
Okay, I can read it again for you. This is the quote. It wasn't an experienced player though, was it? You just wonder if he, meaning Arnie Slot, would have done the same with an experienced player. It's easier to do it with a younger player than someone who is a big hitter. So basically, he's calling him out for taking Kwanzaa out, and he's saying, okay, are you just kind of like trying to flex on your younger players, on the more, uh, uh, vulnerable players than the more experienced players?
I'm not really following. What's his problem? He's saying, how dare you take a young guy off or some shit. Is that what he's saying?
No, what he's saying is that
Brian, explain it to him. Thank you.
What he's saying is that it's all very easy to take off a young kid and dig him out like that, but would he have the balls to do that if it was a Virgil van Dijk or a senior player? Would he take him off at halftime?
Oh, I'm guessing he would.
Yeah.
If he's done this, I'm guessing
Well,
he has the balls to do that to any player.
Yeah. But it's purely hypothetical. Like, the guy is one of the worst managers of all time.
I get the game, yeah. I wondered what he's on about at first.
Yeah, the guy is one of the worst managers of all time, right? So for him to be criticizing Slot for a start, he doesn't have a leg to stand on. Like, he almost ruined Newcastle. So he's sitting there, he's getting paid to talk crap, and he's talking crap. But he doesn't like us. I don't know why, but he never, ever, ever liked Jurgen Klopp. I don't know what Klopp did to him, but you could tell whenever he talked about Jurgen Klopp, it was obvious that he didn't like him. I don't know about him hating Liverpool. I don't think really anything like that, but he definitely had a chip on his shoulder when it came to Klopp. Probably thought he was too happy clappy or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's what I always got to read off Shearer was definitely that, whether he has a thing about us. Look, he has a point. It is easier.
Club and he never won nothing. No wonder he's angry.
Yeah, he does have a point. It is easier to do it with a young kid. I'll agree with him that it is easier to do it with a young kid. But Alan Shearer is then also presupposing that Kwanzaa doesn't have a chin big enough to take it and to learn a lesson from it. He's assuming that Kwanzaa is this weak kid, so he doesn't know Kwanzaa either. So he's absolutely talking through his backside.
No, well, Kwanzaa's perfectly able to understand he wasn't playing well, so he was substituted. End of story. And the manager come out and said it afterwards. So Jarell knows why he was taken out of the team. He wasn't doing the business. And you've got to do the business to stay in the team. End of.
So, yeah, how dare Slot doing the right thing, right?
Yeah, exactly, basically,
There's it's these people who think that they always know better than everybody else. But, bro, you failed. The only thing we know about you is you score a lot of goals. That's it.
Yeah, he's an LFC Grinch, isn't he, Shearer now? Because he kept on at
That's
Jota.
what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. He seems to be a Grinch.
He kept on at Jota until Jota's season was ended. He kept going on about him and saying it weren't a pen when Jota, had a pen shouts and that. Go, no. He got really into hating Jota after that. I wouldn't mind.
He apparently.
Game, it's not as if we beat them by 1 goal in that game. We spanked them, mate. I don't know what his problem was. It was irrelevant, really, whether that Jota pen was given, because we still would have won handsomely, regardless.
And he didn't listen to what Anslot said, because Anslot told them, don't talk to me about tactics when you haven't done the simplest job that I asked you to do, and is to win the duels. Win the duels, the tactics will come. And this is the thing with commentators and these pundits who think they know no one should come to our game to tell us what to do. That's the mindset. I bet you he would never say something like that to Pep Guardiola.
Oh, no.
Hell no. You're right, yeah.
No, not even close. That's why it was so interesting to hear that he was kind of taking a shot. But I just don't. I've seen him take shots at Liverpool, especially Klopp, a bunch of times, and that's why I was just wondering. Maybe he just doesn't like us for some reason, I guess. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's definitely some need there, all right. Yeah.
Maybe he looks at it and sees a big successful club, and then looks at his club and sees a club that's never really had any success.
Sees the
Maybe this is
Magpies
what
being more
ails
like
him.
Mag. Yeah. Before, like, I see the time. I said that we have to keep an eye on the time. So I want to make sure I get into this one topic, especially. What's very interesting is that, like, as of late, there has been a resurgence of basically who is the greatest African player, and
Oh yeah, good one. Yeah, good one.
Quaz
They always chat that.
KB can tell can atone to this because we did a show together where we did the Mount Rushmore
Great show.
of that was a great show, wasn't it? Shout out to Uncle Albert too. He took part in it as well.
I like the idea of
And,
picking just one player alone to be the best. I'd like to pick, like a the best defender, the best striker, and the best midfielder, rather than lumping them all together and saying that one was the greatest. Do you know what I mean? Because comparisons can't really be made in that regard, can they? Between a centre back and a centre forward, and that, like, and a midfielder. So you can maybe compare an attacking midfielder and a striker, like, sometimes, but do you know what I'm saying? It's hard to do, to pick one singular person, isn't it? Like, as the greatest. But that's the fun of doing.
I get that, and that's why I was just going to get into what we did together on that show. We did basically a Mount Rushmore. That's the kind of like the concept, or that's like the kind of like the tag that I've like coined for the channel here, is to have like the Mount Rushmores when it comes to like trying to bring in a for the greatest, rather than try to be like, oh, this is the greatest or that's the greatest and yada yada. And I'm trying to think back to do you remember who we had as our 4KB?
That's the thing.
Let's
The
hear
question, what they're saying is, I know the Twitter thing was, who is the African GOAT?
Right.
The question that I have for is it the African GOAT who played in the EPL? Because if we're talking about African GOAT, none of the EPL players is part of the African GOAT list.
Oh, so you think that no EPL player makes even the short list for the?
They come close, but they are
not.
Because first of all, let me ask you this: there is a guy by the name of George Weah.
George Weah, yeah, I put that out there. Yeah,
he won Ballon d'Or.
Roger Mia too. Yeah,
he won Ballon d'Or, right? The person who come closest to him is Samuel Eto'o. That's basically the guy who won everything except Ballon d'Or and a World Cup. So I know people want to say Mo Salah so much, but Mo Salah is not even the greatest from his country.
Oh yeah. Because we said, I remember it was the goalkeeper that
exactly
has higher ratings in Egypt technically.
Yeah.
Often when you talk about the greats of Egypt, often that goalkeeper is I'm going blank on his name, but I do know that that's often what Egyptians will say as being their GOAT.
Exactly. Mo Salah is at least second or third. Maybe he's moving very close to second. And then Liverpool fans will be like, oh, what about Mane? Mane is from Senegal. Yes, he's the GOAT. But in terms of accolades and what they've won for their, remember, it was accolades, what you want for your club, and what you want for your country. Mane does not come close to Eto'o, right? Then you go to some old school players like Roger Miller, who Eto'o just broke his record before he retired.
Yeah.
Then there's Abedi Pele. Then there's
nobody's mentioned Eusebio yet. Eusebio is one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah,
Eusebio is. I mean, he played for Mozambique. I know he played for Portugal, but he played for Mozambique. So
Portugal has hijacked
a player for sheer joy to watch was Nwankwo Kanu, when Nigeria had that really good batch of players, a really good side for quite a long time, and Kanu was one of them. He was
even with Kanu, you go to Nigeria, you're looking at J.J. Okocha, there's Amokachi, there's just like there's so many of these list of players that because people who watch EPL assume that just because you play EPL, that means you are the African GOAT. But then when you step further on it, you'll be like, okay. Like even people want to make Didier Drogba as wow, the big striker. But
Yeah,
Didier,
I love
he's
Drogba
not.
too,
Yeah,
but
Didier never won.
in a different way. I love Kanu because he did different things, and it was just the way Kanu looked as well, being
Yeah.
so tall and so graceful was fucking brilliant to watch. It just looked so good, didn't it? That he was able to do that with his
Shame
build.
about the Arsenal jersey.
Oh man, he's a very tall man, Wanko Kanu, and the way he
And
used to,
Kanu,
his turns and
Lee,
stuff like that, his touch was just sublime.
Lee, and I'll tell you this: Kanu was great when he was Ajax before he came to Arsenal. Because he was in the Ajax team that won the Champions League. Remember?
Yeah, with
So
Ibrahimovic.
exactly. Thank you, Brian.
That's
So
a hell of a forward line, isn't it? Kanu and Ibrahimovic.
You know what I mean? So it's like yes, we are preview. So when they make the list, if you say African players
Let me
from
hear
the
it. Yeah.
EPL,
Yeah.
then okay, now you have Mo Salah, you have Didier.
So
you
Mo
have Yaya
Salah
Toure.
makes the list basically if it's EPL,
If
but
it's
Mo Salah
EPL,
does not make that list if it's
the
all
whole
All time.
all time.
all time of
Check
everything.
this out. Check this out, 12 man. He hasn't
I want to
won-
hear it. I want to hear it because we might have to have another. We might have to do like a redo of our
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore again. I want to
Guess
hear
what?
it.
Two of the players that everybody wants to push, right? Brian and Lee, is Didier and Salah. But Didier and Salah never won AFCON for their countries.
Yeah, I loved Didier Drogba, but I loved to hate him because he always done Liverpool in. I loved to hate him.
But
I love
you-
to wish we had him ourselves. Like, you know what I mean?
He
but
scored
what's
in
interesting though is
every
that no
final
one
he ever
said.
played
No,
in.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was just saying about Drogba. Scored in every final he ever played in. I think he played in nine finals he played in. Never had a prolific record, but he scored in every single, like he's
Big
known
game
as like this. Yeah, he's just known as one of these like ultimate clutch players, but never like as a prolific kind of guy. So he is a bit of an odd one. But yeah, even for me, like I think he's good, but he wouldn't be.
Even before he signed for Chelsea, he did us harm playing for Marseille. He knocked us in and out of Europe with
How about this,
Marseille.
Brian? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on your last part. The last part you were saying. I was going to say no one mentioned Yaya. Yaya Toure. Yaya was a player, man. I get that he played for.
Are we doing like a top 5 or something, or a top 10, or is that what we're
doing?
No.
I'm just saying that some of these people would at least got shouts to maybe be there. I just thought that.
I would have mentioned him eventually. Like I was talking about the likes of Eusebio and YNWA, yeah. But if you wanted me to name the 10 best African Premier League, Yaya would be right up there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I just thought Yaya was a pretty incredible specimen of a
that
man.
one season. There was that one particular season he had. Do you remember? I think he scored like 22 goals or something like that. He was even playing as a number 10. He was playing box.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't buy him the cake.
Unbelievable. He was unplayable.
Yeah, and Yaya, and personally, Yaya, I think if it comes to players from Ivory Coast, I'll put Yaya ahead of Didier. Yeah, because he won AFCON for us.
I did like the Ghana team when Ghana had a really good team with Essien and that, but I think they lacked the skill that Nigeria had with Kanu and Akocha. They were more functional. Ghana side, they were very hard to beat, a very functional side with a tough midfield, and they had good strikers, some good strikers, like, but I don't think they had the skill the Nigerian side had. If I'm thinking of two African sides, like from the recent past.
And you see a lot.
Essien, Michael Essien as well would be up there, I think, and another one actually I just thought of, like, I think he's one of the best players I've ever seen, like playing football. Whatever about the rest of it, Mahrez. I think Mahrez.
Exactly.
He's an Algerian guy. So, but Essien, if he hadn't done his knee, I think it was his knee, wasn't it? He was another guy that was unstoppable, a traction engine for a foot, as they say. burying them from 30 yards out and just blasting them in. It just
And guess what, Brian? When it comes to Asian, if you pick Ghana top 10, he might not even make top 5. That's how
that's
crazy it is.
Yeah,
You see what I mean? That's how crazy
Yeah.
it is. Like even the Nigerian team that Lee was talking about, the 1994 with Okocha was on the bench. How great that Okocha was. He was on the bench.
That's ridiculous.
Kanu, I think Kanu didn't even make that team.
Oh,
You see, that's the team that
yes. Well,
was probably considered one of the greatest African team of all time. They won the AFCON and went straight to
Well,
World Cup.
So what I'm getting from you, and I always kind of talk quasi, like it is like winning something for your country.
Yeah, so
way outstrips anything you do in the club game by the sounds of it. For Ghana fans and Nigeria fans, and if you win the AFCON, that's the most highest accolade.
So no. So look at it this way. So like when we went, 12 men had me on the show. This is what we did. Individual accolade matter because you can't be great and not win individual accolades, right? Whether you do it for your country or for your club. So individual matter. Club matters because that's what puts you into the international scene. And then when you are international scene and we say you are the Don Dada, you got to do it for your country. There's no excuse. You see what I mean? Now, somebody like George Weah could not do anything for his country because the teams that you guys mentioned, the Ghana team, the Nigerian team, at the time, the Senegal team, and even the Zambia team with Kalusha, he was the only player. It's like literally having Mo Salah in Ipswich and tell him to win the league. It's impossible.
Liberia.
Exactly, Liberia. Exactly.
Tiny
So,
place,
and he was a problem for everybody. Even Ghana at his highest, and Nigeria at his highest, he was a problem. Hence the reason why the guy was like, he won a Ballon d'Or.
Is he still the only African player to win a Ballon d'Or?
Yes.
Yeah, still the only African to win a Ballon d'Or.
You see what I mean? So
that says a lot right there.
And right, you see what I'm saying? And at the time, being an African winning a Ballon d'Or, we
huge.
don't want to do no. Yes, thank you for saying that. So, and he look at the team that he was in, AC Milan, which have Marco van Basten and Gullit and all those boys.
Well, I mean, he counts because he played for Man City.
Yeah, he came to Man City, right?
Yeah, so he counts. Yeah. He can go in the Premier League list.
They can go for exactly. Thank you, Brian.
Technically, yeah.
No, that's technically, literally, he played in the Prem, so he counts.
Yeah. So why I'm bringing it up too is because like lately I've seen these memes about who's the greatest ever. Normally they don't put and you're right, they'll put like 3 of the Premier League players. They'll usually put like they'll put Mane, they might put Salah, but they'll also maybe put Drogba, and then they'll put like, I don't know, George Weah, or they'll put someone that didn't play necessarily in the EPL. And it's like, okay, it's interesting where and how they're picking their little memes or whatever you call them,
But those are those Twitter posts where you can only pick 3, right? They only give you 3 options. And you have to pick one of their 3. Mm-hmm. And you might, those ones I find them really annoying because sometimes it's just like none of those 3 are the answer.
None of those, exactly.
It's like, what are you talking about? And like you say, they'll put in the 2 most famous new players, and they'll just throw in a random old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, like even right now, like how Brian even went way back that people, even Africans, never thought about. He's Sergio. Technically, he's from Mozambique. And then Portugal stole him, right? They took him and turned him in. Like even him, you'll be like, if you put him in, he's top 3 of all greatest Africans ever.
He was doing what Pele
was ridiculous.
It's hard to not think of these players like Djorkaeff and Zidane as being African, like
Algerian. See, if you were to steal him back,
Eusebio playing Portugal. You still got to associate them with Africa, haven't you? Like really.
But like I was saying, he counts because he played for Mozambique. He also played. He represented Mozambique. That's what I was saying earlier. So he totally counts. He played for both. He's played for 2 countries.
Right. Well, I was going to say this then, because there are two players on that list that, or at least on some people's list, at least, made most of the. I probably would have put them. I think I put them on my list. Our list was actually a really good list, to tell you the truth. I mean, it was hard to argue against the four people that we nominated. I think in the end, because you gotta consider it was me, it was KB, and it was Uncle Albert all on this panel. So, and we had to come to some. We had to come to some consensus.
What's his name? I forgot. He was on your show yesterday. We were 4 of us, but he kept going in and out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, with everybody wants to have his favorite player be the Don, because like Brian said, Mahrez, people underestimate Mahrez. He won African Player of the Year too, which is something I don't think Mo Salah has ever won.
I know. Yeah, Mahrez often gets left out of that, and I mean, he's got plenty of titles with obviously City. He's got plenty of, and he's won the African crown too. Yeah,
but he's part of that iconic Leicester team that won the bloody league.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's too.
But he's also got probably
so many segues here.
First, one of the best first touches I've ever seen.
Marley, did he? Was Freddie Canute a Marley international, was he? Because I used to like Freddie Canute. He's not one of the best of all times, but he was a good forward, Freddie Canute.
He's great in football, man.
Before Kwasi's got to bounce out here, the segue I wanted to go into was this segue too. Speaking of African great, apparently Al Nassr reportedly want to get rid of Sadio. The question is now, would you take him on a free with reduced wages just to add depth to our squad? Would you take Sadio Mane to add depth to our squad?
Wait, hold
on. Let's wait, Lee. Let's go. Lee. Let's go around the horn. I'll let you go first, Lee, but then we'll let you go, and then Kwasi, and then we'll go Irishman. Go ahead, Lee.
A general rule of thumb within football is never to go back to your former club. Really works out if
I know. K-Mac just came in the house and said, "Nope, I got you. I got you."
Ronaldo's return to United didn't work out. Ian Rush sort of worked out, but I can't think of any others where it's worked out when someone goes back. No.
Okay. Kwasi?
I would say no, but I could see that it could work with Slot because he's not going to have to run like the old manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but like just Lee said, Mane, we love you, but you're a legend, and we will build a statue, not a statue, but we'll put your name in the stars of Liverpool football. But, bruh, I mean, Benzema is trying to keep him, so yeah, it's tough decision. But right now we want ruthlessness, man.
Okay,
can you imagine the most Salah sexuals? What they will feel even more.
Yeah. I know. They were like, we already done that chapter. Why are we going back and rereading it?
Exactly.
I'm sure they would be pretty upset about that. Irishman, what's your take on that one? I see. There are some people that said yes. Yeah. In the chat, by the way.
Yeah. No, hard no. Like the lads are saying, he's past his best now at this stage. He'd want big money. He wouldn't be coming to play for free. He might be on a free, but yeah, you don't go back. We look to the future, not the past. And probably above all else, we don't need someone who plays left wing. We really don't have someone where we were not stuck. So everything would be against it.
How about this?
Oh, I know he could. He could play goalkeeper, right?
No. He could play. He did play right wing for us.
Yeah, he could, but it's still a hard no. It's still a hard no.
He's shutting it down already.
It's still a hard no. Yeah, no. I'm saying he could play central. Even if he played on the right. I wouldn't.
No, I think it would just be funny if he came back.
Past his best. Oh, it would be funny.
If we got Sadio Mane to come back and play right wing for us as Salah's backup, that would be incredibly humble.
The question then, doesn't it?
Has anyone seen Sadio play in the last couple of seasons? I mean, has he lost much pace? Has he lost a lot of his pace now, or what?
He went to Saudi, dude.
I know, yeah. I mean,
But quickly, Quasi,
if he's
Yes,
still
sir.
got space, he can come back.
I just want to ask Quasi because before you go, I know it didn't work out and it's a tragic story, but and it's a dark story. But how good was Neil Lamptey?
Bro, brother, I have so much respect for you because you know football. This brother was supposed to be the next. Like when we have the Ghana reveres Abedi Ayu, the Ayu's father. He was known to be the next guy. And at the
Yeah.
time he went to Netherlands, African players were not well taken care of because if he had come these modern times, people, this brother, oh man, Brian, thank you. This guy is like talent, pure nasty talent. You like they picked him up straight from Ghana and took him straight to Netherlands. That's how good he was. Like this kid, he followed the wrong advice. He wasn't well taken care of. Agent stealing his money, and of
Yeah, it
course
was his agent.
some life bad choices also affected him. But bro, I'm telling you,
What a player!
man.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, man.
Well, Quasi, before give the people what they want to hear, which is how they can find you and help support your what 20 kids now or something like that. I know it's up there.
21 problems, man.
21
man,
problems.
21 problems, man. We're trying to get to that 500. So I need all of you guys to support me. Big up to Mandem in the chat who always support all the Liverpool channels. Quincy Bowl TV, please. Thank you. Thank you to Lee. Thank you to Brian. And of course, big up to 12 men. Appreciate the invite.
Yo, definitely. Always welcome. Always welcome, fam.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So yeah, I definitely wanted to get KB's intro or input on that, because there's a lot of interesting little takes there. I saw that they're trying to get rid of him, or they're trying to get rid of his salary, and
oh yeah, they're trying to get rid of a lot of players that haven't worked out for them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of players on big money there. They're trying to cut.
Yeah. But like I said, there were some yeses. I mean, obviously K-Mac said nope. Jimmy said yes.
Someone said yes if he hasn't lost his pace, I think.
Yeah. Let me see who that was. Hold on. I saw no from Baz. I saw saw a let's see. I'm trying to find who else said something. I don't see the one that said the pace one, but I did see that, I think, a while back.
Yeah. I think it was MK.
I know Bernie. Big up Delonte.
Bernie's assuming it's one woman.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Lamptey was the only player who scored magnificent goals age 18 on FM many moons ago, says K-Mac. You know what else I was going to bring up too, because what was very interesting is that in KB's opinion, again, he did not have this individual nor this individual in his greatest of all time, and I just found that kind of interesting, considering there's often the comments, and I get that this is just for Africa, but I'm saying I know that people often say, Messi or Ronaldo, they're like two of the greatest of all time. They're they get put into the GOAT conversation so often. Yet there was this interesting little note here. GA for Liverpool and Manchester United. In 350 games, Mo Salah has 300 GA. In 346 games, Ronaldo, CR7, has 209 GA. So in just 4 games more, you have a player that's had nearly 90 more or almost 100 more GA than this CR7 GOAT. It's difficult sometimes to not recognize that Mo Salah has had an absolutely stellar career. I know that often people will probably put that, oh, well, the beginning of his career at Chelsea, and even maybe he did well in Italy, but maybe not to the level of what they all wanted. And when you see this stat, does it not put a little bit of a different light on things for you? Maybe, Irish, you want to go for this one?
Sorry, what was the question again?
When you see this stat, considering that Mo Salah couldn't get into KB's Mount Rushmore of African players. I mean, we're talking about one of the GOATs, one of the greatest of all times. Cristiano Ronaldo is looked at as one of the greatest of all times. And yet, like, if you do put a little bit of a stat together and you rank his Premier League career versus, and not even Premier League career, just his Manchester United career versus Salah's Liverpool career, not including his Chelsea career, but just for his Liverpool career. What he's done at Liverpool has definitely shined bright for Salah.
Yeah, I didn't see Quasi's. I mean, we're talking like we just had him on there, and he's a man who has very strong opinions on African football, and he knows it really well. So I think you're looking at a really strong list, I'm assuming. To me, it would be I'd kind of have to stretch it out. Like Rushmore is 4, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'd stretch it out to 5 or 10 or whatever, but he's got to be one of the greatest African player. If he's not the greatest of all time, I mean, again, in Africa, it's Africa. It's not one country. You ask the Egyptians, you ask the Ghanaians, you ask the Senegalese. But I mean, yeah, in the last, if you're talking about to make it probably a little bit more focused, if you're just to make it like the greatest African players in the Premier League, then he would have to, because he's one of the greatest Premier League players, full stop, regardless of the rest of it. And I think Pops is correct. Ronaldo's peak was definitely, in terms of goal scoring, was at Madrid, but he did. It's still not a bad comparison. You don't even really need to compare. I mean, just the 300, just Mo's stats kind of speak for themselves without comparison. But yeah, like say Quasi, I mean, we spoke about some amazing players there earlier on. And but yeah, I don't know. I'd find it very hard to leave him off any kind of list, really, for the greatest African players.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what that's what Quasi was talking about. He was giving us great insight into like how they feel about it over there, and what what you have to do over there to be considered, a great.
Yeah.
But if you were just looking at it purely from a club point of view in the Premier League, narrowing it down even more, I know, but then yeah, like the guy is just one of the best ever Premier League goal scorers.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah. And on top of
not even a striker.
Yeah. That's one of the noticeable differences is that it's not a striker. I mean, for a little bit of time, Ronaldo was playing that number 9 position for Manchester United. Yet, we're talking about a guy that, again, is paling in comparison when it comes.
You should have thrown these questions at Quasi, dude. You should have.
I know. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, it was ready to go. I was ready to go, and then I saw the buzzer hit, and I'm like, oh, well, we'll have to save this and save it for another time. But we got Pops in the chat too. I mean, very knowledgeable. We got Nolante, very knowledgeable individual especially when it comes to the African GOAT question. They definitely are historians on the sport. Yeah, Nolante saying, I say we won't get a winger with his goals for a long time. He says I can answer for him. He said, yeah, Nalante can answer for him. I knew it. So big up. Ronaldo was only 19 to 20. He was not even in his prime. Just a point to note.
Yeah, like I said, you don't need to compare.
All
Like
right.
his numbers stand on their own, really. No matter what, like
Yeah.
Mo's numbers don't need kind of, oh, look how good this guy is. It's just like to be even. There's no question about Mo.
Yeah.
You know, there's no question about him. It's like I said, African, Liverpool, anything, no matter what, he's just one of the best goal scorers in the Premier League era. Full stop. You can put him up against anything.
And also Ronaldo did play in the Premier League, technically, not only 19 to 23. He obviously played here for another stint with Manchester United, where he was scoring
triumphant return.
Yeah, but he was scoring goals. He was scoring goals there for them. I mean, let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
That part of that tally that you're seeing, 209. Part of that tally is part of, his stint, his latter stint with Manchester United. I also like to just always bring up graphics that show and that always show Liverpool players over Red Devil players any day, So it is what it is. I know how I got into the conversation with I got into a conversation recently with a Red Devil, and they were going on about how Højlund was a better striker than Darwin Núñez. I mean, sometimes you just get diluted takes. You just get these diluted takes. It's all good. It's all good. Oh man, but let's see what the chat has to say about this. He says you aren't comparing. Pops always the teacher in the groups telling me you aren't comparing their peaks to be fair. I got you. We got Judge Pops or Bajan Judge Pops. We can almost call you guys. Oh man, I get it. I mean, like I'm judging.
But he told you he just put it in so he could put Mo over Ronaldo. Let him off with it. Any excuse they will put Mo over Ronaldo. We'll
you
let
guys
him
should enjoy that moment with me. Enjoy that moment. Breathe it in, Oh man. But there was some other talk as well, or you know what? There was another cool thing that got released this recently, and that is the third kit got released. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. This was the third kit that got released. I'll give you a better view of it here. Let me show you this one. This is a little better view of it. This is what it looks on someone actually like this. And then this is it just individually. Because you know how sometimes you'll see a kit and you'll see it like hanging on a hanger and it might look fantastic or it might look horrible, but then you see it on an individual, you see it on yourself or you see it on a player and you're like, oh wow, that really pops the way
why is the Nike sign on its side and on its head instead of sideways? It looks like a J, the Nike sign. Looks like a J.
Because this is the last year it's going down.
Because designers, basically.
Yeah.
Because designers. Like, they just have to get creative. It's a Nike symbol. You can't do anything with it, but they just have to, what if we do this with it? What if we turn it into Michael Jordan? What if we do it? It's a Nike sign. They're getting paid a lot of money. They have to, hey, look, we spent $500,000 to turn it 180 degrees. Yeah, cool. Are we good? It's a horrible kit with all that gray, messy stuff. But I've always said that you can't judge a kit until you actually see the guys out wearing it, the team out wearing it, because it always looks totally different. And sometimes, like, even online, they're kind of almost Photoshoppy looking. They're flat, like. But the white kit, I don't like all this trend now for, kind of background graphics that are kind of faded and they all like tell a story. They're just like, this one that'll mean something. All that nonsense on it will be referencing like the Dockers strike or something like that. And it'll be, it's Chelsea are doing, they all have this kind of faded graphics and they're They all wreck.
Yeah, I must confess I prefer them without, just au natural or whatever, like you want to say, like without the all those jazzy bits, like something that you can't see and stuff, like just have a nice colour, have
Not
it like
necessary.
not much detail. You don't want too much detail on kits. Ever when kits have too much detail on, they look bloody silly more often than not.
It's nice colors, though. It's nice colors. Nice collar. Nice. Yeah. It's white, red. It's nice.
If you look, if you do see the Nike symbol, they have it's a Nike symbol within a Nike symbol too. You'll notice that there's two colors there. Here, let me get the other one up here so you see, maybe see it a little better.
Probably charge. Yeah,
there's maybe they do, but if you see it there, it's like a red Nike swoosh, but then there's also a yellow Nike swoosh inside of that too. Maybe it would have looked weird if it was horizontal. I don't know why they made it vertical.
Change stuff.
But
change
yeah,
stuff
this is the new kit. This is the third kit. This is the final. This is maybe like they're dropping. This is maybe the Nike symbols that way because they're dropping the mic, because this is the last. Apparently, this will be the last Nike kit. Apparently,
do you remember when Nike were going to get us Mbappe? Do you remember those days? Do you remember when Nike? Do you remember when people were putting two and two together and coming up with Mbappe? Oh yeah, Nike deal. That means they're going to give us 100 million, and we're going to get Mbappe. It was like, oh God, stop. Yeah.
I was just explaining the idea that the Nike sign was sewed on accidentally the wrong way, like, and it's just
maybe so.
From somewhere, like.
I wanted to share with you guys something too. I saw in the news. This is we're about halfway through the show here, so it's kind of fitting that we bring this up again. There is announcement that Chelsea has a new team bus. I guess they just conditioned put together a petition to get them a new team bus. So this is the Chelsea new team bus, apparently.
Yeah.
It should accommodate all their players appropriately.
Oh yeah, that's goalkeepers on the bottom deck, defenders on the middle, midfielders, and then that's a deck for. That's it. Yeah, it should be.
More like an office block.
I wouldn't like to see the queue for the toilets on a Newcastle.
I wouldn't want to be. Yeah, imagine having. Oh goodness, when that has to get unloaded, that could be easy. But so just in case you hear you see the ground rumbling when you're in town or you're at a game, you'll know who's coming. You'll know the team bus is coming by that situation. Oh man. Also, what was pretty funny, and this is something that again I didn't really necessarily mind seeing. I know some of us all had to sit through. We all had to sit through. I guess if you did watch the Spurs game on Monday, some of us had to sit through that. They had a tale of two halves. Leicester looked absolutely wretched in the first half. Then got a little bit of, maybe it was the Red Bull and Red Bulls for Vardy at halftime. That got him inspired to put in the game tying goal. But when he got subbed off, there was something that he did was kind of cheeky. I do rate it a little bit because I wish that a little bit more of this existed. That kind of like
Jamie Vardy is the king of this shit, man. Jamie Vardy is old school.
Oh, he is a troll.
Oh, he loves this shit, man. Like, he loves it. He knows where he came from. And, like, do you remember when Maradona scored that goal at USA and he went to the camera and went absolutely nuts, and the people in the drug testing room were like, number 10, please. Yeah. Because it's like, that ain't a normal reaction. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you found 6 empty cans of Red Bull in the toilets when they cleaned it up at halftime. He definitely had a boost. He definitely had a bump. That's
Yeah,
all
a
I'm
little
saying.
bump of energy,
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bump of
yeah.
energy to say, yeah. He could have done better. He could have won the game for him, tell you the truth. He had another opportunity as well. But there was this segment here where when he got subbed off, Vardy pointed to the Premier League little logo, then said 1 and Spurs 0. Like just taking a little bit of a pop at the Spurs faithful. And
Oh yeah, you love to see it.
I kind of like to see that, to tell you the truth.
gotta
I
love
kind of
it,
was
man.
like, I don't like Vardy. It's not like I like the player per se. But I kind of was like, I wish that kind of exists. I wish that kind of existed for us with our own play.
He
I
bought
mean,
an
he's right.
American club, didn't he?
Yeah, Delante,
he
you're
bought-
right. Vardy was right. He is telling the truth.
He is. He's factually correct. He's not lying. He's not trolling. He's just pointing out some facts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the guy. No, look, I'm not his biggest. I didn't like him a while ago. To be honest, like I haven't seen him, but I don't hate him because he's got that in him. And if he's not doing it to you, he's that guy who's come not that long ago. He was in non-league playing for Fleetwood Town. This guy was working in a freaking potato factory, something
Right.
like that, something stupid. Like he's from the streets, basically. He can't stop himself. And like you said, I want to see more of that because that doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't harm anybody. If you were to go to that ground, he was probably getting called a CUNT for about 70 minutes.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure.
a simple little 1-0 to the Foxes, yeah, that's nothing compared to what they get called when they go to these grounds. So yeah, I'm all for seeing them give it back, especially like that in a way that's just like, yeah, you don't cause any trouble. You just basically let them mug themselves off, basically, is what they'd say in England. Let them mug themselves off. Call him a dickhead all night and then just wait till your moment to go, yeah, how many titles have you won? Because I got one.
Yep. That's why it was just funny to see. I kind of wish, though, at times that some of our players had that kind of energy or that kind of like, pride in our. Not saying they don't have pride
See it
in
at Old
being
Trafford.
great, but just that fanhood's essence of pride. When
You'll see Old Trafford from Trent or something like that. They'll go to the crowd. And
yeah,
show them
yes, that's true.
They'll
Trent does it.
They'll do it.
Trent does it. Yes.
Gerard used to love telling him what the story was. Gerard loved telling the Manx what the crack was. Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I sometimes wish though that was a little bit more. They just know that you're never going to be going to Manchester City. So you know what, pat the badge or something like that, or tell the crowd to be quiet the way that Trent does. Sometimes I do miss that. I enjoy seeing that. I should say I definitely enjoy seeing that.
It's part of the game. Sanitize.
Yeah, it is a part of the game. And you're right.
That.
You know what? He's not lying. Spurs fans, he's not lying. So. But they do have to do something about their Leicester have a Bitcoin, like sponsored by Bitcoin or something now or something like that. Is that what that is on their sponsor?
Are they? Whoa.
I think they're sponsored by a Bitcoin thing or something.
Oh, that ain't good.
Has it got a funny name that I can laugh at? What's the name of it?
Fucking what? Yeah, that ain't. I mean, yeah, let's say currently sponsored by a Bitcoin company. Want to keep an eye on that one.
Can't make out what it says because his bloody arms across his chest. I hope it says something funny.
Yeah, the crispy coin.
Walker's crisp coins. Is that what it's called?
Crispy coins.
No. They used to be Walker's Crisps is the Leicester.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, that was that. You know what's telling too is that like there have been some talks about the fact that we are very close, very close to signing Marmar Dashvili, very close to signing him. And what's unique about that is that the price that Valencia is quoting or wanting to get is definitely not the valuation that Liverpool have for the goalkeeper. Now, it is being said that we are being pretty firm with our price of 25.5 million being the offer price that we're giving. Valencia is looking more for like 34 million.
Very good, YouTube. Very good. Gary Linecoin. That's very good. I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he should watch that. Yeah.
They're looking more for like a 34 million pound evaluation for the player. But
another bloody transfer saga.
Yeah, but it is that
another deal that was done a week ago.
Apparently Georgie is trying to. I'll let you go one sec, Lee. I'm just gonna finish the explanation. Georgie is apparently pushing for the Liverpool deal, knowing that he has an opportunity to play for. He has a better route towards playing first team as a first team goalkeeper for Liverpool than the reports of Manchester United apparently trying to hijack this deal. You know, I don't know why that is being put out there. Why Manchester United would want to do that, if anything, because if anything, they already have their goalkeeper. They've invested a lot in Onana. So it really wouldn't make sense if they were to go and try to do, put out obviously 35-40 million for Georgie and find out that, you're going to be stuck with Onana as well. Like how they're going to get those books to go that way, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So this whole talk about Manchester United, I think, is more just talk. Are you confident that we can get this across the line, or are you trepidatious that it's going to be another possible miscue by our transfer board? We'll go with Lee, and then we'll go with the Irishman. Lee, what's your choice of words for this one?
I don't want to be held to ransom for a Georgian goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good he is, don't want to be held to ransom for him. I want us to just pay what we think he's worth. And if they want more, then don't buy him. Sorry. If you want like another 10 million that we don't want to pay, then just don't buy him, mate, because we don't need him right now. Get him next summer or something then.
Mm-hmm. How about for you? Oh, no. Were you done? I'm sorry. Lee, were you done your point? I thought you were done.
No, I'm just saying don't want to be held to ransom over it. Like, don't
right.
pay a 40 for him. Like, no.
I would go, yeah. I really like the keeper. But again, like I said before, it's really deflating when you hear buying a guy, and not that it happens a lot, but it has happened to us with Naby, that you're going to have to wait a year, and it's kind of like, okay. It's like, finding out you're getting a toy for Christmas, but I mean, the box says, it'll be here next year. It's sort of, it's like great and all that, but you still lose that kind of dopamine hit of, that endorphin rush of getting that new player in the door and seeing them in the kit, So it's a deal I really wanted done, and it all looked a bit complicated and very kind of unusual, the structure of it. But he was so up for it, the club was so up for it, and it looked like a really doable deal, which is why I'm really annoyed that we're still not, there. This is what, 2.5, 3 weeks at least now this is going on. Like, this is out since the Zubimendi stuff.
Yeah.
And here we still are. And okay, look, obviously we don't plan on bringing him in here this season. So yeah, there's probably not that big a rush. So yeah, maybe it's something to do with that. But if they're going to ask for another 10 million, this seems like a lot of talk, especially the United thing. I think it probably settled on closer. I'm not sure what the problem is. It must be maybe they're trying to change the deal at the end, doing a Daniel Levy thing where, oh, by the way, and you know that clause, oh, we want to change it to this, and say, whoa, hang on a minute now, that changes everything. Oh, it's just this little thing that we want. No, you're not going to get away with that. Hang on, let's back away and redo it because it should have been done. It is. It is. It's getting close to being kind of embarrassing, but it is very much our laundry is out in public, as it were. It's everybody knows what we're doing. So if this one falls through as well, yeah, it won't be a great start. I still give him his dues. The guy's new to his job. Give him a chance. But yeah, the first two deals that we try and do, and they're really one falls through, and this one's dragging on, and we've nobody in the door. I mean, if you wanted to be hypercritical, there's a lot of ammunition there. I'm not being hypercritical. I'm giving him his chance.
It's becoming recurrent now, isn't it, that we can't get deals over the line? This is a recurring theme, sadly.
Mm-hmm. That would be very disappointing if we were to drop the ball on this one, because it'd just be another knock about the banter. The banter would be certainly very, very prevalent if we don't.
But it'd be bad for the club too, not just from a banter point of view. It would actually be bad for the club. I mean, they'd be two great signings, Zubimendi and Mamrashvili. That'd be great. That would have been great. And then you add in the Bastoni. I mean, that's lottery winning time. I mean, one's gone, the other looks like. So yeah, I think we need a win. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, like to carry on with your analogy, we don't need to fumble. I think we need to carry it into the end zone really on one and actually make the play, get one done, really get one done, so people can, also stop these Hughes Edwards are fucking everything up kind of narratives that probably starting to pick up a little bit of speed. And like I say, those if you want to be hyper negative, there's a lot of ammunition there for you because we've done nothing and we've dropped one ball. So if you wanted to go in hard, you could. I mean, I'm giving them plenty of time. They came in with a Copa and a Euros and an Olympics and a new coach who wanted a little bit of time to look at everybody. So I think it's probably a very problematic transfer window. And obviously, we can't just go out and go boom, boom, do these two. It's showing now. So, yeah, worrying times, but I'm looking forward to see how we handle it.
Window to shut tomorrow, so we can.
It has been different. What? What'd you say, Lee?
I'll be happy for the window to shut tomorrow, so we can stop tomorrow.
We can stop talking about this kind of stuff. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I agree with what YouTube name said too. He says, "I agree. I don't like the blow-by-blow account of the transfer." No. What's unique about this, about some of these transfers as of late, has been the fact that there just haven't been surprise transfers, almost in a sense. A lot of the times, it would be like these. We'd find out about transfers and be like, "Oh, I didn't even know we were going for this guy," or "I didn't even know this was a possibility," and it's a done deal. It's already the ink's already like dry on the paper type thing. And nowadays it's like, go ahead.
Well, I'll happily call myself out for being completely wrong because on the Zubimendi, the kind of Zubimendi night, the first night, I was sitting here saying that this is normally how we operate. If you hear about a transfer like this, I think that it was an Ornstein tweet. Usually about 6 hours later, it's done. Normally the next morning we're going to basically, this is a done deal because we don't let this information out until it's a done deal, which maybe we thought it was. And that wasn't right at all. And you're saying that this is kind of the opposite of what we're known for, isn't it? Like the getting things done quietly. And this, like I said, we've had our dirty linen out in public now for weeks for everyone to see what's going on. And that is literally the opposite of what the whole Edwards FSG way of doing things has been known for. It's kind of worrying that should I be that worried? I don't know, but it is not very Liverpool.
I was going to also bring up this little point too.
Yeah, Philly, no worries,
something
man.
that's been
No, Philly, you're a mod.
um
You can put links in the chat.
yeah,
So
you can
just put
put
the
up
link to
you
your
can put up
channel in the
yeah,
chat, man. Put it wherever
certainly,
you
yeah.
want.
Yeah, definitely. Just put it in just put the link in the chat there and you're good to go.
Yeah, you're a
You're
mod, man.
definitely
You
good to
can
go.
do what you like. And
Yeah,
put the link
yeah,
to
yeah,
your
yeah.
channel while you're at it. And Bayesian Reds.
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course. Of course. Bernie's saying we have to trust the process.
Yeah.
Hughes, Ward, Edwards have a good track record. They can be rubbish all of a sudden. They can't be rubbish all of a sudden. Yeah, I mean they didn't. I don't think all of them just all of a sudden forgot how to work the business. Basically, you know, we have been. There's a lot of trust that should be put into them. They've got a lot of
They haven't lost their touch, you know.
Yeah. You think they have lost their touch? Is that what you're saying?
No, they haven't. No, they
Oh,
haven't. I mean, the
have
guys
not.
only like when you look at the summer they came. It's been so difficult. Like a new manager and all those competitions, like and a guy getting 5 minutes to work with the first team before the season starts. I think they were trying to be surgical.
Yeah,
they were trying to be precise.
Yeah.
They were not being scattergun. You know, not the Chelsea thing of let's just buy 10 players and 2 will be good. It was like no, let's just buy 1 and he will definitely be brilliant. And yeah, we kind of, I suppose, we aimed a bit high, or maybe we went for the wrong girl, you know, that kind of thing. And now we're kind of sitting here going, well, no, we said we were only going to go for 1, and I think maybe a little bit of arrogance, maybe in that, or too much self confidence, maybe. I don't know, but you should always have two lined up and 1 ready to go if that guy can't come in or whatever. But it is again, like you say. The banter is very, very prevalent now. We go, Liverpool can't sign a player. Michael Edwards, who's this guy? You know, I thought he was going to save your, you know, all this stuff. It's all coming out. It's all coming out.
I would like to also
pull one off. We're still going to pull one off. Fingers crossed, we're going to pull one off.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's another very interesting topic out there. And it might come to answer a lot of people's questions. Apparently, Amazon is in talks to purchase the rights to the Klopp documentary. So Jurgen Klopp is apparently about to tap into that Bezos money, basically, and get a nice size bag for himself. I'm certain. But it is being reported by the New York Times that Amazon
is trouble selling that.
Selling what?
Oh, sorry, that documentary. They had trouble selling it. They were expecting bids from certain people, and people were like, "We're not sure." But they kind of made that. A company made that, and then wanted to sell it to Netflix or sell it to Amazon. They were expecting all these bids, and something happened, and I just remember reading a story about 6 or 7 months ago, one of those kind of finance kind of stories that the bid that they were expecting from the company that they were expecting to buy
the behind the scenes, like
yeah. I was wondering who'd take it up, because everyone was saying they thought it was going to go on Netflix. But they just made it and then kind of put it out to market, and something happened with the bidder, and they were saying like there was a chance that it might not even get shown because I would just it's good to hear that Amazon have picked it up, because there was apparently some issue that it might not even get shown on the thing that was going to get shown on. But I was really surprised. It's like everybody's going to want to watch that, like, you know, it's not
you would think, especially since it was like everyone wants to see what the drama was about, like, you know, like how it unveiled and how, you know, and the whole nine for a Klopp, one of the most beloved coaches in this Premier League era, to leave the way he did. You know, obviously you want to know what the scoop was, and apparently Amazon is now trying to make a bid to purchase the Klopp documentary, which will go even further and deeper into the man himself, in the sense of, like, you know, the ongoings of who he is and what his beliefs are, and the likes, and, you know, some of the you know, the things that he's had to go through to become and get to where he's at. Let's see. Philly Lover FC has a question for us as well. Let me bring up Redbird's question too, real quick. It says some fans think Kwanzaa was taken off because he was poor, which he wasn't. It was a tactical decision and turned out to be the right decision. Why do people try to make mountains out of molehills? It sells. It's the drama, Redbird, that sells. That's why.
He was getting beaten by his man. He was losing his jewels. So yeah, it was because it was both. He was poor, obviously, because he wasn't winning his jewels, but it was tactical in terms of that's why we're taking you off, not because I don't like. Yeah, but he did have a poor game. Your man was dominating him. So, but it's both. Yeah, it's both, and it is. But this is the thing, like
young players
said it
have
last night.
downs.
Yeah.
Young players have ups and downs. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Exactly. You can't ever have a perfect. No one's going to be 10 out of 10 every game, but people are going to have to get used to it. Said it last night. Arne Slot will answer questions like that in press conferences. He'll come out and tell you what he did. People are going to have to get not used to this, but expect more of this. Like, if journalists ask him proper, intelligent, tactical questions, he'll tell you what he did. He won't tell you what he's going to do, but he will explain stuff. So that's going to be really good from him. I don't want to sound like a nerd, but we're going to get lots of like really interesting stuff from Slot post game about, oh, this was happening, so I did that. This is how we changed it. We did that. They're very direct, the Dutch, and they don't try and hide what they did, you know. So I'm looking forward to a lot more of that. Kind of just coach talk, I suppose. Yeah, and it'll unmuddy the waters sometimes, because after games it'll be like, oh, was this happening or was that happening? When the coach comes out and says, no, I took him off because he was playing shit. I don't mean Kwanzaa. I mean, if you like, and I'm paraphrasing, you know, that would be really kind of refreshing. Not that Klopp didn't do that, but he was a bit more guarded, maybe, especially after a long time, 7-8 years, he was kind of on edge.
Klopp would say we made changes. That was all Klopp would say. We made changes to the way we were going about. That's as far as we go. Usually, like, he'd say we made changes.
Yeah. Nolante says Kwanzaa was poor, but Bernie says the Dutch speak plainly, and YouTube name says Slot nailed the call and got 3 points. That's the bottom line. YouTube name.
I think we got to get a petition going for YouTube name to change his YouTube name to something other than YouTube name.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to come up with it. Something.
Maybe he's in a rush. He just hit return. You know. I would like to say that also, there is talks. I know that we have seen the talks about Gomez being one of the names that might be leaving. I know that we've made quite a few sales. I know that someone else mentioned earlier about the fact that we might be making another sale on another player. Let me see if I can find that real quick. But
I remember. If you don't remember, I know what it was.
What was the comment?
It was Sepp Vandenberg to Leverkusen, but we're asking 25 million. Was that the one?
Right. That was it.
Yeah.
I think we'll end up getting 20 million most likely. But we're looking at basically 27.5 million for Fab, looking at 20 million possibly for Sepp. We're looking at 10 million again for Clark. So that's now about 60 million right there, almost 60 million, so 57 million. And then obviously if we do pay the 25.5 for Georgie, that would be taken out of that 55. But let's say we don't make that deal just as of yet. 55 million. The name, and if we were to sell, obviously Gomez, that would be another possible 40, if not 50 million there, you know, on top of that. we could be looking at possibly like 100 million in the bank, ready to possibly be spent on someone late in the window, albeit very late in the window. But that's just the way the window worked out this year with all the tournaments that were here, whether it was the Copa, whether it was Euros, whether it was the Olympics, you know. And there's a name out there that's now being pushed as being a possible the Crystal Palace center half. Mark Gahey is now being a name that's being offered as being more of a viable option for us. I don't know if that's the name that necessarily I would say invest all our money, or not all our money, but a good portion of our money into as a return from selling someone like a Gomez. Do you think that's, I don't want to say wrong, but do you agree or you disagree with that? Would you be in favor of that? We'll go to the Irishman first, then we'll ask Lee this time. Irishman, would you be in favor of that?
Gay is a player who I really, really like. So when you get it in terms of would he be this, would he be that, I'd have to kind of just say to myself, where I put it in isolation, if you ask me what I was thinking of, I think he's a really brilliant centre half. So that is kind of negate anything else I should say, like that we shouldn't get him. Like if he was in our team, I think we'd probably be pretty freaking happy with him. But then it's like, do we go out, spend X amount of money on him this late? I really like just the guy as a footballer, 100%. Yeah, I think he's really, really good. Probably a kind of a natural Gomez replacement if you're thinking about like a younger centre half coming in to replace an older centre half, but still it's just it all falls down when it gets to the money, because it'd just be way too much. I think they don't need to, like, they've sold Elise, they've sold someone else. I know they've sold one other guy, not much, but they're not really, they can squeeze it. They know last few weeks Prem tax, UK tax, England tax, the whole lot. It's not a deal I see us doing. I don't think we've ever been properly linked with them. I think we're going to go to the continent and we're going to go and look for those younger guys, those guys that, not younger guys, those cheaper guys, lower profile, that could stack up against him. But like I said, just in a player kind of thing, I'll be like, yeah, the guy's really good. He's really, really good. But for us, yeah, I don't know, man. You're kind of taking that money and your Gomez, you're adding 20 to that maybe. What would you say, 60, 65 for him? That's a huge chunk.
It's a huge chunk. Yeah.
So I think he could do better business in Portugal or France or Germany for 40 maybe. Or if you're going to spend that kind of money, go and get Bastoni. Go and get.
That's where I'm at. That's the lines I'm on. I personally, I know that I saw. Shout out to Barnes from Beijing Reds TV. He's saying there is no one coming in 12th man. Don't get your hopes up. We're operating like Ebenezer Scrooge as a club.
He turned good in the end.
Shout out to Bozzy, by the way.
Barnes, though, Ebenezer Scrooge turned good in the end. He started giving everybody presents and money and what they want. So hang back.
Oh, he's got you there. He's got you there. Good point. That is a good point. There was, because I brought up the whole Gahey thing, Barnes, as well out there, because there were reports. There have been reports that Liverpool scouts were spotted watching spotted watching Gahey's games. So Liverpool scouts were at the Crystal Palace match, apparently, watching the game.
Palace playing?
Palace lost, actually. I know that. They lost 2-1 to
Brentford.
Who? Brentford, I think. Yeah. It was Brentford.
Okay, well, we're not watching any Brentford players.
Right, exactly. The chances
so
are we're not
we're
watching any
probably
Brentford
watching.
players.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we were just Brentford because
Maybe. I know we're not going to buy him, but a player that I really, really like is Joachim Andersen, the Danish centre half that also plays for
Mhm.
Palace. I think he's brilliant. I don't know whether he could make the step up, but he's brilliant for them. He's a great goal scorer from corners and stuff. He's like a real like 7.5 to 8 out of player, 8 out of 10 players.
Great pal for Nunes, wouldn't he? Like great
I think
pals
he's
with
brilliant.
Nunes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Embuemo, Embuemo.
I knew that name was going to come up again. I knew he was going to come up, by the
Embuemo.
way.
He'd be a
Yeah.
good squad player for us. I won't be a bad squad player, but they'd probably want. But they've left Tony out as well, haven't they? They've got interest in him from Saudi, apparently.
Yeah.
He looks like he's off. So, yeah, other than Embuemo, yeah. So then when you narrow it down, Eze isn't. We're not going to be after Eze. So potentially, yeah. They've also got a good left back. That guy Tyreek Mitchell, I believe is his name. Very good young left back.
Okay. And I know we have been linked to a left back as being a possible position that we're going to like focus on trying to get an acquisition.
It's Palace. They've always got loads of good young players. Like that's just what they do. They've always got like 2 or 3 like really good young players that could come through. Yeah, I know Nilati, but he's young. I mean, he's one of those guys. Maybe in a couple of years, yeah, he's one of those kind of a real potential type player. Yeah. Like the likes of Anderson. He is what he is now. He's kind of at his peak. Or I would like a player like Eze. I don't know what you boys think. I'd like Eze. I'd take him at the club.
Yeah, no, he's a talent. He's definitely a talent. I don't think we'll see. I think we possibly will go for Wharton, but I don't think Wharton's a acquisition that we'll make right now. I think we'll go for Wharton in the next, not in the January window. And I'm not saying that obviously. I don't think that Crystal Palace would make that kind of move, but I definitely could see us going for him next summer as being possibly someone that we try to get if this certain individual does not come to bear witness that those out there like most notably your Tom Little or Rams who we didn't get into his portion. I don't know if I didn't show the clip on online, but I didn't play the Rams portion of his critique of the game as well. But he was very, very critical on this individual, saying that he is not a 6. He is not a viable player at the 6, and that he is not an answer for our 6 concerns. I vehemently disagree, but all the same, maybe one day Rams will join the show, or even Tom Little will join the show, or maybe if Hussam is bold enough, maybe Hussam
he doesn't have the stones.
Maybe he'll step up.
There's no there's no super chats on our show, so he only does it for the money. So he would.
Yeah. Oh, shots fired. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, there's been a lot of like praise and a lot of praise for this young man. I'm hoping that Razi, he only reads super chats. He does only read super chats. He doesn't even answer his Twitter when you talk to him through there either, really. But
hit him up on PayPal. Gotta hit him up on
maybe
PayPal.
I hit him up on PayPal, maybe. But there's been some praise. There's been a lot of praise, I think, of this young man. And there's been some people that have basically, not put him down and knocked him. They've degraded him because it's Ipswich. It's not a real team in their mind. Okay, that's disrespectful to Ipswich. But all the same, or they've made little comments here and there, little backhanded compliments to this guy But I really do like the fact that not only has Gravenberch made a real emergence onto the scene as a 22-year-old. Let me repeat that. He's only 22 years old. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal that we have such a young talent that we could possibly, that looks to be happy to be here, looks to not only be happy to be here, but looks to be, comfortable knowing he has his some countrymen as his teammates, and also looking. I think he just has the look of someone that knows that this team wanted him. This team really wanted him and wants to believe him. And I hope that a lot of the fan base certainly get behind and support him in his pursuits of trying to make a name and a place on this starting 11. Go ahead, Lee. You look like you want to say something.
No, go on, carry on.
Oh, I didn't know. You look like, so you got that look. Yeah. Sometimes you got that look in your eye, like, you want to jump in.
So only one way down now. If you go to Ajax and you make it, you become that guy that gets that big move. He got that big move, and he got it to Bayern Munich, and it failed for whatever reason. It failed for, but it failed. You then get, you're lucky. You're lucky if you get a big move after that, like a really big one, and he got a really big one to a really big club. If that move doesn't work out for you, you're not going to you're not then going to Real Madrid. He's going to have to go somewhere like a fucking Brighton or something like that. You're going down. Like most times when you leave Liverpool, it's to a worse club. So he will be determined to not, get dropped again and lose that kind of the momentum that he had, because he was like, I need to rebuild my career here.
Yeah.
Get away from Bayern Munich, get to a big club. And now he has that chance. He has that opportunity and he'll be desperate as well to make it work and make it happen. And he has all the ability. Definitely. We're seeing, one game and even a bad first half, but we saw what he could do. And the vibes are good and everybody's happy about it. But he will be not desperate, kind of worryingly desperate, but he will know that this is a big season for him, a really big season.
Huge.
If he, and he's got all the tools. So that's the thing. It's never about, with someone like him, it's always been about the tools, and he has them all. He's gonna have a real springboard into getting some momentum, really, considering now he has at least still have the support of Anfield in his next match, and then the very next match after that, the third match, is against Manchester United, and it means going to the old toilet and having to take on the Red Devils, who certainly I hope we see a little bit of I don't know, Trent Alexander-Arnold telling the crowd to be quiet, or hopefully we get to see and he can't play every game. And he can't play every game as well. And don't forget as well.
He can't. He most likely won't. He most likely won't. Certainly, yes.
We got to use.
We don't want to rinse him. We don't want to rinse him. Like
you said, 22.
It was last summer when we signed Ryan. That's like what chilled me out, because after we got nobody, after going in for Caicedo and Lavin and getting nobody, when we got him, I was made up and it chilled out then. Endo to a lesser extent, because I knew less about Endo, and he was less of a name. But when we signed Gravenberch, it was like, phew, you know what I mean? And stop moaning and bitching then, and we didn't see that much of him last season, but we did see flashes, and everyone knows he's a good player. Everyone knew anyway he was a good player. So I'm really looking forward to him, hopefully being one of the mainstays of the side and having a good season, And
I think, do you not think that maybe there's an element of, we've been linked with him for so long, before he went to Bayern and all that, he kind of actually feels like he's been here for about 2 years. He feels like he's been here longer than he actually has.
Yeah.
There's some people might say, did we not sign him 2 years ago? It's like, no, he's only 27 games. That's it in the league appearances. He is basically kind of a new player, especially under a new manager, because you still got the 9-year veterans, or you've got the 6 or the 8-year veterans, but you've also got a core group of midfielders, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister, who only ever had 1 year under Klopp. They're not like indoctrinated on, oh, can they play new football? Like, I mean, they had about 5 minutes of Klopp in terms of their careers.
Yeah.
They're not like drilled like the Hendersons and the Fabinhos and the Van Dijks and the Salahs and the Manes, Robbo. I mean, they they came from a club. They play international football. They're pretty much new to the club as well. So it's kind of there's the whole Klopp team, or Klopp slot team, Klopp players. There are still players there who are relatively new, and I'd include Gravenberch in that relatively new. There's probably one or two others as well. Gakpo isn't here that long.
Yeah. I was just answering Brazzi. I didn't know Brazzi was a big Pogba fan too. I do think that he has. I just think when I see him, because of maybe his like physique and his
for France, man.
Athletic ability. Yeah, Pogba for France was like a beast.
Oof.
He was a beast for them, absolute beast. But and Pogba played DM too in his career. Kind of concept, or he played or he's played center.
Is he still appealing that? Is he, or has he taken that on the chin, or is he still appealing that? I think he's appealing that one, right?
I think he's still an appeal for it. Yeah, because I mean, by the time he knows that if he doesn't appeal it, then guess what?
Oof,
then
it's over. Yeah, game over.
It's his career's over, virtually over. But
what a mad one! What a mad career!
Yeah.
Gravenberch could turn out to be one of Jurgen's best parting gifts, like, you know what I mean? Because he was one of his last signings, wasn't he? Like, you know what I mean? So that would be a nice part gift if it really worked out, like, in the future under Slot for Ryan.
Yeah.
It was just interesting how he couldn't get him in the team. He obviously, I mean, it's sort of like that thing, Lee, what it's like when the season gets going, when the going gets tough. The kind of project players start not appearing. You need the guys who can do it now, kind of thing. So it was always a little bit disappointing. You could see the Klopp never really got the chance to get Gravenberch into the team, because he was trying to do other things more important first. It was how I felt it was, and he would come along after then and introduce him. But now he's gone. It was always kind of, he was probably sitting there looking around, thinking, well, what's next? What happens to me now? So I'm really, really glad that, because you talk to the Ajax fans, they'll say, "This, like, how is this guy not already, playing for Madrid? That's how good this guy is. How is he languishing around, getting bumped from Bayern and not playing for Liverpool? This guy should be, he can play for Barca, he can play for Real, he can play for anybody. He's that good."
Yeah. I will admit that I do. I know we were talking about, like, with this lineup, and it's a very interesting lineup when you really, really take a look at it. Let me see if I can just pull this up. Hopefully this doesn't make my thing go too crazy when it for all the graphics. But if you really take a look at the lineup that we have and the options that we have in midfield, it's one where I think that, okay, albeit, there's those that say what they will about whether Endo is going to really get a, concerted chance in this lineup. I know, by the way, shout out to Endo. I saw him at the end of the game. He was quick to go over and congratulate Gravenberch on having a great game, and he's quick to go over to Dominic to go and make sure that he congratulated him for having a good game.
He's a team player.
He's an absolute team player. That's those qualities are excellent to have, especially when
he's kind of like a little Millie replacement, isn't he? He's like a little Millie. I mean, he can't do everything Millie could, but that kind of.
I didn't. It's true, and I'll let you chime in on this.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what's interesting about that is that I remember I said that earlier about how like he could be very similar to Milner, and that especially when like it was being worked out whether he would play a right back, as a backup right back maybe. There was like talks about him maybe being like a right center back option, or like a far down option, obviously, but still a right center back option if necessary, because he's played those positions for in the Bundesliga. But it was with me. I said the Milner thing too because he was just someone that could be dependable and someone that's going to be a team player and not make waves.
Well, yeah,
And that's what
it's
Milner
not
does.
making waves thing. It's very much the not making waves thing for me. Like
Yeah.
he will sit there and, like you say, first off the bench to go to the guy who took his spot in the team and say, "Brilliant, well done."
Mhm.
You can't really do anything more than that. That's
Mhm.
about that's all you can ask. And I think definitely, I haven't seen it, but if I'd be shocked if he couldn't do a job at right back. I really would.
Mhm.
He can tackle, he can run. I mean, maybe he can't cross the ball, but in a pinch, maybe not the left back stuff. But yeah, I just think it's one of those kind of really good characters that's super fit and always gives his best and doesn't cause a
Yeah,
problem.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's one of those guys to have in the dressing room, always there if you need him, kind of thing.
Yep.
But how much of a starring role he's going to have? Probably not much. But that's
Yeah, because I mean, let me just take a
can-
quick. Let me show the audience and the panel too what we've got so far as our selections according to Liverpool FC. These are the selections that we have. We have Wataru, we have Dom, we have Maka, we have Curtis, we have Harvey, Grava, and Bashetic on the books as being the choices that we have in our midfield. Now, Bashetic, I've reported as well, or at least I've read the reports. I'm not saying that I did the actual reporting, but I guess I am doing reporting by announcing it, that Bashetic had turned down the option of going out on loan, that he wanted to stay with the club. So Bashetic is still an option in that midfield for us. Elliot and Curtis, we have yet to see them really be implemented into the starting lineup in a actual Premier League game, just as a bit. Obviously, we have one, but still the same. And we've seen Maka and Dom do their work. Endo was on the bench as well. So you're looking at this lineup, and I'm thinking, as much as we're all vying and pushing for an actual DM, which I'm saying if we were to get a better DM, all power to us, But realistically, if we were going to DM, it means that one of these players most likely would be shown the door, or it would also mean that the minutes for some of these players would be affected possibly by that kind of acquisition. And again, I'm not saying that I'm against getting another DM or something like that, but I'm just saying that.
Oh yeah, but a lot of people are happy to take that, man. They know what the cost is. They can see. I can say, a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're saying I have to lose Endo to get Zubamendi? Get me Zubamendi."
Right.
If again, you can always improve. Never be afraid of improving. Never be, afraid to go out and buy somebody that is a top quality player. Worry about what it does for Elliott and Jones and that afterwards. If they're good enough, they'll step up, because that's what we need is 11 players who are good enough to be better than everybody else.
Right.
If you do that, we win the league. Okay, some people will lose out. There'll always be collateral damage in football.
There will be.
Oh,
And
poor guy,
that's
he
all I
has to
wanted to
go and
say.
play for Aston Villa or Newcastle and have a brilliant career.
Yeah.
You do your thing. We're going to buy a player that can win titles, because it also says to the players that are at the club that might be thinking about maybe not being at the club for long, that no, we're a club that's buying these kind of guys. And then it also says to the guy that you go out and buy next, they just bought Ronaldinho, they just bought Haaland, they mean business. So that it's exponential. It makes it easier. I mean, why do you think Real Madrid can just go out and press the button? Because everybody wants to go around Mbappe and Bellingham and Viniar and all of that. So it says a lot to a player that you as a club mean business when you go out and you say, look, don't worry, lads, we've got this in hand. So
Well,
again, it's
yeah.
really frustrating. This window is very, very frustrating because, like Lee said, it'd be great if it just ended tomorrow. It wouldn't be great that we got nobody, but it really also would be kind of cool if it
just done and over with, and we can just move on. Yeah,
and work with what we got. And Lee said it the other night, and I've been saying it as well. I can see this being a bit January.
I can see it too. I when Lee said it, you know, I was like, I wasn't really focused on January as being the time period that we might see some actual movement of like someone that makes us say, oh wow, that's surprising. Okay, let's see, we're gonna really make a push for this, or we're really gonna see how we make a run for this tournament or that, or this campaign. But yeah, I was looking at it as I was hoping, but I was also thinking that we were going to get the Zubimendi deal across the line. But yeah, being where we're at, I could easily say, we get the goalkeeper, cool. But I'm showing these people because Curtis Jones can play the 10. He can play a 6 role. He could play.
We could make do and mend. We could definitely make do and mend.
Right. We could utilize Curtis Jones in various roles in this team. We can obviously we're not going to use Harvey Elliott as a 6, but I mean we could also use him for certainly as a 10. That could be.
But you can't let anyone go. But we can't let anyone else go.
No, we can't let any of these guys go. I think that the fact that we've given up the pursuit, or under Bišetik's assistance, that we give up the pursuit of loaning him out. I think that was a smart deal. I hope that we allow for. I think that it could be the right deal.
I like it from the kid.
Yeah, get Bišetik those cup game minutes, or get Bišetik into a couple of Prem games here and there. I'm all for it. I think that.
Bišetic is being clever. He's just sitting there going, I'm just going to twiddle my thumbs here, and somebody will get injured, and I'll get a shot.
Yeah.
Somebody will get injury, or someone will get a suspension. I'm going to get in this team, and when I get in, I mean, I really like it. I really like the confidence.
Yeah. Don't let go of it. Don't let go.
Unless it didn't. I hope it didn't cause a conflict when the club said to him, we really want you to go out on loan. We really think it's what's best for you, kind of thing. And he goes, no, I'm kicking up a stink. I hope that but maybe it was more.
So you're thinking
like
on which side of the fence are you saying it would be like, would be the one that would feel aggrieved?
Well, no, I just mean, I hope it didn't cause. I hope it was like we said to him, would you like to go out on loan? Because we would consider it. And he goes, no, I want to stay and fight for my place. I'm all for that. I hope that was how it went, rather than us saying to him, look, we really want you to get on loan. We've lined up a deal for you. We think it's what's best for you. You're not going to get any minutes, or yada, yada, yada. I don't think that's how it is. I really like him saying, no, I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight for my place. I think I'm good enough to play. And I almost said Erik ten Hag. Arne Slot turns around and goes, I love it. Cool. Welcome to the club. Come on, let's go. That's what I hope it was, because it's football. He will get a shot. And once you get in that team, stay in it. Why not? Get in it and stay in it. Put in a performance that says, you got to pick this kid again.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. By time only tell. Before we rock on out of here, we got like 5-10 minutes actually. We were going to end 15 minutes ago, but it's always fun once we get to talk.
I want crab questions.
Yeah. Does Crab have a question?
Come on, Crab. Throw some crab questions.
Yeah. This is your time. This is the Mighty Reds Army hour right here.
And also, I'll bring it up now because YouTube name agreed, I believe, tacitly, without saying, that he would change his YouTube name. So people in the chat have to decide what new YouTube name is going to be. So put your suggestions in the chat, and he can pick the best one. How about that?
Yeah, get some proper nominations for him to choose on.
Because he said, "What do you want me to change it to?" He said, "What do you want me to change it to?" So he's obviously open to changing it. So let's go. Come on, get creative.
I wanted to also make sure
Yeah,
that
well, it is kind of true. It is kind of true. He said not exactly true, but well, too late now. Too late now.
I did want to make sure that people understood that there's still time to join the Premier League fantasy the game that we have going on, or league that we have. I'm putting in the link in the chat right now, and then I'll also put the league code. So this is the league code. I have it on the actual screen, but I know sometimes it is small to read on the screen. But yes, if you go to fantasy.premierleague.com, you will be brought to their webpage, and it'll ask you what league you're actually trying to join, and then you can just put in this code here, 8KJBH4, all under a lowercase letters, 8KJBH4, and you'll be in the league with all of the great participants. Rasta Crab, I know, is in there. A couple of Bajan Reds are actually in there. I think Chris joined as well yesterday. I know that JK is there. There's a lot of good people. I don't know if the Irishman's going to try to flex his muscle, and since he's the reigning Euro champion of the fantasy.
I stopped. I've been trying to stop for about 5 years now. I'm playing it for about 12. Playing it since 2011, I think, and the World Cup before that. Because I only did it because someone convinced me to play. And every year I'm like, I'm going to knock it on the head for a while. And every year I've met someone new, or I'm involved in like a YouTube channel or something. Or no, you have to play this year. And I got to the point last year, I really genuinely got so sick of it and it hit me this weekend where it popped up that I think Havertz and Saka scored for Arsenal. And the relief that I felt being able to read that and it not mattering to my fantasy football was so good. It was so good because, like, you were watching Man United games and Man City games and Arsenal games for 10 years now, wanting players you hate to score goals. And I've needed a break from it for about 5 years now, because I got so deep into it. I really got deeply into it, and it is so refreshing for these things not to matter anymore. It's just like, oh, it's cool. It is. A year off is great. I might come back. I did win the Euros.
It's the Street's first time. He's saying it's his first time playing fantasy football.
Yeah. I can't YouTube name. My highest position is around the top 150K, but this is when it was around maybe 5 million. There's around 11 million playing it at the moment. I think the highest I ever got was well inside the top 500K, but it was when there was probably only 4.5 to 5 million playing it. I think that's probably around 2017, maybe something like that. And I had a really high score the year that Suarez and Sturridge were playing for us up top.
Mm.
But I've deleted all the Twitter accounts and all the YouTube things and all of that. It's just so nice just not to care about Haaland. Oh, Haaland. I mean, I just don't care now. I don't care if he scores. I can go back to hating him when he does, because I haven't triple captained him and all that nonsense. But it's brilliant, guys. Enjoy it. But yeah, I am.
Well, we are going to put together something. I think what we're going to try to do.
You can do it then.
I'm going to see if I can get it signed, which would be great. But if we can't, you'll still end up getting something.
A prize.
A prize. And the prize that we're looking to do is we're going to be giving away The Lost Shankly Boy. It's a book by is by George
George's
Scott,
book.
our
Oh,
friend
brilliant.
Yeah,
and fellow Red.
Brilliant,
We'll be
brilliant
giving that
choice.
away as the winner will be able to read about what it's like to be on the journey of being an actual participating Red on the pitch, and that was George Scott's journey. Jeff Golding was the co-author of this. So yes, shout out to George Scott. If you want to buy the book directly, please do go out there and purchase this. George is a great guy, very, very, very nice person as well, like us, and someone that you can have an honest conversation with, and enjoys to hear your opinion. Isn't one of those guys that just automatically is like shoot you down or just like blows you off because you haven't gone to the levels that he's gone to in his journey. But he's
Played
certainly
under Paisley.
a
Played under
friend,
Paisley.
and someone that I
Shankly.
appreciate being able to say that. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, no, sorry, he played under Shankly, didn't he, at Liverpool? Well, he was there at
Yeah, Shanks bought.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Shanks bought George. Yeah, and he
Yeah,
knows all the players from that era, does he? Like and that, and
so it's a throwback. It's definitely a throwback. It's not a modern tale, but it's a man there at the very beginning of the kind of the myth of Liverpool, I suppose. What we become now and what we are.
Yeah. I mean, we all talk about all the great coaches, and whenever you reference the greatness of Liverpool, you know, some of these great coaches are often the coaches that often get put into the conversation. And I know sometimes we also talk about players or even coaches in eras that aren't the Premier League, and some people get, you know, somewhat insulted sometimes because, you know, they say, you know, there is a life before the Premier League as well, which there surely was, and it is certainly a notable era that you have to take account for and also give proper respect for. So shout out to George. Hopefully one day we can get George on the show. I know I'm pretty sure he would definitely come on. We've had Frank on the show before.
Easy. I'm sure George. No, easy. I'm sure it'd probably just be a bit of a time thing for. Yeah. George, the kind of guy I'm sure would love to come on and talk about the. You know, I suppose it is kind of talk about the old days as such, but with someone, you know, that was actually there at probably like one of the most iconic moments in the club's history. So
yeah, one of the best eras in this team's glorious history, I would say, certainly, right?
Yeah, it's a great choice of a prize. So Rasta is coming in hard early.
I know. I saw that. I saw that. He's like you
gotta watch them taxes, man. You gotta watch them taxes in Canada. You never know. You might end up paying $20 to get this.
Yeah, that's certainly true. That's certainly true. But yeah, if you want to, you can always purchase the book on your own. But that will be the prize for this. That will be the prize for the winner of our challenge here. That will be the prize for.
And I'm sorry I chose this year to give it up and shit all over it, but honestly, it has been it is brilliant. Like it is great. Like that's why I played it constantly. But I will be keeping an eye on who's doing well, and I'll be able to, suppose, if we want to do shows on it and pick it up, I'll be able to speak kind of impartially because, you know, I won't be in the league, so we can have a look at people's teams and see how they're getting on. Maybe every 5 games or something like that, you can have a look at the league and see who's on top and see what they're up to.
Yeah.
What terrible decisions that they've made.
How does it work? Do you get a certain amount of money to spend on players, and you can buy, like, say, a couple of good players like Haaland or Salah, and then you have to get cheaper ones to make up your team?
In a nutshell, yes. Yeah, and you can only have a certain amount of players from every team, and there's a scoring system, and there's a substitute system, and there's certain things that you can do. You'll have competition, Crab. Don't worry. JK said exactly the same thing. He's like, "Oh, you need to be in the league. I need some competition." So that just tells you that JK doesn't rate anybody else that's in the league. Yeah, I know, right? But
Oh,
no,
man.
basically in a nutshell, that's it. And you can make you can change a player every week, kind of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's it. But it's a whole industry now, man. It really is a whole. Like I know 4 people now that are doing it full time, and I
Mhm.
remember them when they were doing it as like as a hobby, and now they do it as a full time job, and they get yeah, yeah. It's an industry. It really is 24/7.
Look, the streets is saying it. He's got no
Yeah,
worries. He's
yeah.
got no worries.
For a man who's playing to the first year, you better know how it works, man, because they've changed a lot of rules this year, and you have to know how to use your chips, and you have to know about your wild cards. I hope you know the rules, man, because you can get caught out. You get caught out, and you with your time zone stuff, you got to be ready to have your team set up the day before, and none of this complaining. Oh, I woke up too late and I didn't get to change my team because I live in Canada. Yeah,
Right.
none
None
of
of
that,
that.
man. None of
None
that, my
of
friend.
that.
You have been pre-warned. You have been pre-warned. We ain't
Yeah.
accepting those kind of excuses.
Real quick before we bounce out, because we only have like I'll give another 4 minutes. We're gonna drop out on the 2 hour mark on the dot here. Robert saying, all right, all we need to have a discussion on who we would prefer, Lucho Doku, Doku. I think you mean. I think Lucho is better. I agree with that completely. I go Lucho over Doku. Real quick, do you go Lucho over Doku, or do you go Doku over Lucho, Brian? This one will be interesting. Hear which one he says.
Yeah, that's tough. Massively impressed by Doku. He's great, man. I love a dribbler. Like he's a dribble. I know Lucho is as well, but he's got that little bit of extra spice about him. Yeah, probably Doku. Probably Doku.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I kind of expect
No,
that.
I really like him. I like him before he went to City. You see, I really like him. He's just
There
one
were
of those
there were
guys.
people out there that liked him. I know
Yeah, no,
that
I
that
love
are
it.
that
He's
were
all
asking for him
flair
to
and
come to the
tricks
team.
and
Yeah.
flicks and all that. I love a player like that. So yeah, Waterford for right.
Uh,
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go. Okay.
Wow. You
Okay.
asked for it. Now you got it.
Yeah. No, well played. Well played. Well played.
Real quickly, Doku or Lucha? Doku or Diaz?
Diaz. I
Diaz.
do like Doku. Yeah, I like Doku. He's an exciting player, but I'll have
Good for,
Diaz because he's ours.
good
Watch Pep
for
turn
you.
him into a robot. Watch Pep turn him into a total robot now. Who won't even
Yeah.
try and dribble past the player. You just
Well,
pass,
isn't he
pass,
also
pass.
Doku's now playing on the right side now too, though? I
I
think.
didn't see their first game actually.
Yeah, he's playing on the right side because that guy that they brought in, the one that you said
Oh, the
changed his
new
name.
guys. Yeah, Savino. Yeah.
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 Savinho plays on the left now.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, it's just it's a bit of a tough one because it's like a Doku guy. I just like him.
but he's but he apparently played on the right, played on the left, both on both sides of the thing, Doku. But started out
I'd take Doku over Jack Grealish all day. If
all
you're saying
day.
to me you could have one guy from that and it's one of them, Grealish or Doku, I would take Doku all day.
Yeah, Ross, they do switch. You're right. You're totally right. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So yeah, I guess people are taking Doku because he got one shot on target rather than two
Diaz
off
loving
target.
that.
I see how you guys do it. I'm joking.
What one shot on target win?
Yeah, I
Hey.
get it. Hey, it's all good.
not just
But again,
quick,
if there's any issues or problems, or if you guys ever need a ride to the games, you can always probably find a spot on the Chelsea team bus. I'm sure they might have a place here or there for you once again.
I don't think they do. Have they got like I think Like, in the side, have they got like one of those doors that opens up and like a smaller bus comes out for like the extra passenger? I think they've even got one of them. Like they've got like one of those smaller buses that comes out
They
just
might.
to, when
They
everyone's
might.
fit. Yeah, when everyone's fit, they need it. They need
Oh
the extra
man.
one for the
I
coaches.
thought this was just for like the players they're trying to get on loan. I thought maybe that was just this bus. It was just maybe that's just all the players they're trying to like have out on loan or get back from loan. But who knows? Who knows? That was your little bit of zen. Your funny moment of zen to kind of laugh at this one more time. But we're at the 2-hour mark, people. Time flies when you're having fun. We'll be back tomorrow with another show for certain. Possibly with a name to announce, maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But certainly with news, with fun little jokes here and there, maybe a little banter, surprise guests, of course, always there. And we'll always be
So you back
there
down and
with.
changed it.
Oh yeah.
You
Once
back
we got
down
the
and change
recipe
it.
now. Yeah, now we got the recipe now. We have like we've got
Right
Liverpool's
armchair.
best. We've got Ireland's best. We've got
Maybe.
what they call America's best. I guess I don't know, but we have a little bit of the Mighty Reds Army best, and that is you out there in the chat, and that's what makes it all come together. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. So something you want to tell the people, Irishman, before we push out?
Ooh, yeah. Tomorrow, yeah. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and like the show. I forgot to like the show. Like the show.
Yeah, for sure. And also, Lee, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the people before we push off and allow for them to leave the Liverbird and go wherever they want?
There's always a spare seat on Chelsea's squad bus.
Yeah, there's always a seat. There's always a seat on Chelsea's spot. It's like honk honk. Oh man! Every time I see this now, I'm thinking of like Dave Chappelle when he's like, "I'm rich." Yeah, well, I'm not gonna go with the rest of what he says, but
No.
Oh man, but all good. Appreciating every one of you. Much love to everyone out there. See you guys tomorrow. And like I said, whenever you are referring to the Reds, I always like to say at least, up the Reds, people, up the Reds each and every time. Until tomorrow, peace.